some guys are gonna get thrown to the wolves, and you're going into a place and you're as a freshman or as a transfer, and you're playing against a team that was the #1 defensive team in the country last year. So we'll find out a lot.
With however you define growth, whatever your parameters are each year, how much do you grow from this scrimmage, even though it's just a scrimmage?
Yeah, I mean I treat it like a practice in my mind.
Okay.
And how I evaluate it. The difference is the team that you're playing against doesn't, when you call out a play, they don't know what it is, and you're not playing against two teams that are getting up and down in transition. So it provides some really good film footage for us to share with the guys and sit down on an individual basis and a team basis, and hopefully where are our weaknesses and where did we get exposed and what do we have to fix as we get closer to November 6th.
You were really honest about Pop and Jemiah's appeal to Creighton and their appeal as well on the other side, about trying to be more efficient, effective. They like the system, obviously. So now that you've had a few weeks to kind of assess, how they're going to acclimate to it, what have you seen out of those two in particular?
I mean, it's been good, but it's been inconsistent, which is totally normal and expected. Pop's on his third coach in 3 years. And three very different defensive systems. So, anytime you're thinking a lot, you're not going to play at the highest level that you can play. So, as those things become habits, I think he's going to settle in more. And the system that Jemiah played in at Arizona State is totally different than what we do on both ends of the floor. So he's got a steep learning curve because he only has 1 year left. So we're trying to catch them up as quick as we can, and I think the experience against Iowa State on Saturday and Purdue next week, a team that's picked to win the Big Ten, will be really good for them, and there'll be some great teaching moments, would be my guess.
Someone that you're not unfamiliar with is Ryan Kalkbrenner. You've seen kind of every version of his post-high school career so far. What does this version look like to you so far?
It's been better. His voice has been incredibly consistent. He's playing with a lot of joy. For one of my concerns, him going into his 5th year was, does this get really monotonous for him? He's done this drill a bunch of times, and will he get bored with it? And you would never guess that by watching him practice and his approach to practice. He's practicing with a lot of joy. Seems to be having a lot of fun playing the game, and my hope for him is that this is his best year ever. He's given a lot to this program, and obviously he shows how much he cares for this community and this institution to come back for a 5th year. Because had he chosen to enter the transfer portal, he would have been one of the higher paid transfers in the history of our game.
Mm-hmm.
So we're glad we're having him back, and I feel blessed to have the opportunity to coach him one more time.
Knowing that you had some new pieces this year, so far from beginning of practice on them, you feel like you're ahead, behind, or right about where you want to be?
I mean, we're not where we were last year, for obvious reasons. Last year, the only one we were really trying to acclimate was Steven. Everybody else was here the year before. So, that's been the challenge. The freshmen, a guy like Sterling Knox, Shane Thomas that has done some good things, and then the two transfers. You've got a lot of guys that need to learn and grow and get better. So there's a lot of questions on the run at times, and then certainly in the film room as they try to learn the nuances of our system.
Because of your depth, are you going to maybe play more guys, especially at the beginning of the season?
Yeah, I mean, especially these, we want to get some guys out there in these exhibition games. I think that's really important to see. Sometimes guys, when the lights come on, they react sometimes in a better way than you think, and sometimes maybe not in as good a way as you're hoping for. But that film footage against somebody else is so valuable for their progression as a player and our progression as a team as we continue to grow. And the bottom line with these things, you want to be exposed. You want to learn where the holes are, and then you work up until November 6th to try to fix them.
Steven said the players nicknamed him Father Steve. Does that mean you're Grandpa Mac?
Yeah. Sort of, I guess. I'm certainly old enough to be one. There's no question there.
That's all.